What's going on, guys, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Grail Knight. First off, his passive ability, the Lady's Duty. Essentially, he gets two random quests, right, for him and his party to complete, and once they finish them, they get buffs for the rest of the mission. So it could be something like kill some specials, you get like attack speed, kill a monster, you get a little bit more power level, find a grim health regen, that kind of stuff. It's different, it's randomized, it's interesting, it's fun, and it's just a little something extra that he gives to everybody. It's kind of cool. His career skill, Blessed Blade. Marcus equips a Blessed Blade and slashes down with great force, smiting any evil creature caught in its wake and dealing heavy damage. So just a big damage ultimate, kind of like Shade's ultimate, but no stealth involved, just big lumbering Kershaw killing things instantly. He's also got Knight's Challenge, deals 25% more damage to the first enemy hit. This is a bit weird wording wise, but it is 25% more damage on the first hit to each enemy, is what that means. Thirst for Glory increases movement speed by 10%. In Bastion of Bretonia, Marcus can use shield weapons to block warp fire thrower attacks, which I think is excellent, and hopefully will one day apply to all shield type weapons, but we can only be so lucky, right? So for this guy, you're definitely going to want Lady's Wrath. That is killing blows for temp health. As you can maybe see here, I'm going to be using an Executioner Sword, and that thing can totally kill, so you definitely want that. He also has Staggering for temp health, a decent option if you're going to shield most of the time, or maybe like Great Hammer, but he just does so much damage that I really think like Killing Blows is just the best option. He also has Heal Share. I really don't recommend this in normal gameplay circumstances. You don't make any temp health this way, and it can kind of hurt you, especially if you get hit a lot. You'll die way quicker, and you won't be able to make any temp health, which is kind of, that kind of sucks. And also you have a chance of healing like zealots if they're in your party when they don't want to be healed, which is kind of annoying to them. So pretty much not really usable. Not really, no point in really using it. Killing Blows for temp health, definitely what you want here. Now his second line of talents down here is probably my favorite. Virtue of Heroism, power level of heavy attacks increased by 25%. So that's going to work really nicely with the Executioner Sword, because, when you go to kill like elites and monsters and things with higher health, big things that you want to kill, you're going to have 25% increased power every time, which, going with the Executioner Sword, with the Knight's Challenge, I mean, that's just going to be a crap ton of damage. It's excellent. Very good elite killing talent here. Virtue of the Ideal is also very good. Killing an enemy gives you 10% more power for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times, 30% more power. It's excellent for hordes. This one will probably let you do the most damage overall, which is why I take it probably most of the time, but this one, in this kind of context, is very good. You also have Virtue of Knightly Temper. Critical strikes instantly slay enemies if their current health is less than 4 times the amount of damage of the critical strike, half effect versus lords and monsters. So this is a really good talent if you want to be able to like kill monsters very quickly. When they get down to a certain amount of health, ult them. Your ult counts as a critical strike, and they'll die. It's really nice. So this line kind of depends what you want to prioritize. You want to prioritize elites, monsters, or hordes. It's kind of up to you. So I think for this, elites makes sense. So I'm taking Virtue of Heroism. Your talents here, Smiter is definitely the best choice for the Executioner Sword. It's a one-shot breakpoint kind of weapon. So what Smiter does is it gives you 20% more damage on the first hit to an enemy. Kind of works like Knight's Challenge, except it's 20% more damage instead of 25. So you have this, and you have this all kind of stacking together, and on top of the Executioner Sword, which does a monumental amount of damage, and just kind of coming down on that elite, and that's just gonna murder everything. It's gonna be awesome. Bulwark is a pretty good talent if you're going to use a shield for the majority of your time, because if you stagger an enemy with Bulwark, your whole party will be able to do 10% more damage to that enemy for 2 seconds, including you. And then the rest of the damage works normal. 20% more on the second hit, 40% more on the third hit. Not really much use outside of shields, honestly. Bulwark kind of gets, it's kind of a niche thing. It's a shield thing. And over here you have enhanced power. This gives you more cleave, more stagger force, 7.5% increase in your total power level, not 7%. It's mislabeled in my opinion, but whatever. 7.5. Most people would run this, like I said, to hit breakpoints to increase their ranged weapon damage, but obviously Grail Knight doesn't have a ranged weapon, so you would just use this to hit a certain breakpoint. So that requires some research. For people who just want to jump into it, Smiter, I think, is the best choice. Down here is an interesting line as well. You have Virtue of Duty, gives you an additional quest for the Lady's Duty, your passive ability, which gives you just better odds of getting the coveted health regen quest, or duty, I guess, for Grail Knight, which will heal your entire party up to full health, rather, not half health, which is amazing and so good. So a lot of people take that. Virtue of Purity increases the potency of blessings rewarded upon completing a quest by 50%. So 2 quests, but they do, they're, instead of a 10% power level, it's a 15% power level. It's more effective. I don't really think this talent's all that good, to be honest with you. The buffs on them by themselves are already pretty good. You don't really need extra 50%, in my opinion. What we're going to be going with is the Virtue of the Penitent. The Lady's Favor now grants a repeatable quest that rewards a potion of strength to Marcus upon completion. So if you take this one, you're going to get a little counter under your duties, and it's going to say, kill 250 enemies as a party, and you'll get a strength potion. So this is really good. If you want to, if your Grail Knight obviously is not going to carry a Grim, you can keep getting those strength potions, drink them, use them for monsters, use them for elites and, sticky situations, share them with your team. It's also very good for deeds that don't have any pickups. You can kind of take this, drop strength potions for everybody. It's useful, absolutely. This is a great talent, and I think is the good one to go with for this. You're going to be wanting to do tons of damage with that Executioner Sword, and a strength potion will only help you do that. Down here on this line, Virtue of Stoicism is one of my favorites. 50% of damage taken is regenerated as temp health after 5 seconds. So if you get hit, and you don't get hit, for 5 seconds, half the damage you took is just going to be, that's just temp health right there. That does work with Boon of Shalia. So instead of 50, it's going to be 80% of the damage you take. So say you take an overhead from Chaos Warrior, you almost die, you're going to get 80% of that damage back as temp health. That's pretty interesting. I like this talent a lot. Virtue of Discipline, timed blocks increase power level by 20% for 6 seconds. So this is kind of I guess it's kind of a niche thing. I think it's fun. It makes sense to take it with parry, right? So if you're going to practice parry, do those timed blocks, you get more power for 6 seconds. It's interesting. A bit of a high skill thing, I think, to kind of repeatably parry those attacks correctly. Can take some getting used to, but definitely a fun one to mess around with. The one we want, though, is Virtue of the Joust. Increases push arc and stamina regen by 30%. So the other melee weapon that we're going to be using is the Mason Shield. I know, don't throw up, please. It's not as bad as it used to be. Trust me. So this is going to let you push more things, and you'll get your stamina back faster. And we'll talk about it later in the gear section. And then down here for the ultimates, you've got Virtue of Confidence, which is kind of a horizontal slash that cleaves through enemies and staggers them. It's pretty decent. Virtue of the Impetuous Knight gives you movement speed when you kill an enemy with Blessed Blade for 35% for 15 seconds. Not really my thing, since he already has 10% movement speed naturally. I don't see this as being that useful. Virtue of Audacity is his biggest damage output ultimate. It lets him do 2 stabs, which is really good for a monster. It's tons and tons of damage. It can kill, you can kill 2 Chaos Warriors, you can kill, you can get a monster down to half health on Legend. It's just so freaking OP. Virtue of Audacity does a ton of damage. Getting into the gear now, like I said, Executioner Sword, crit chance, attack speed, swift slaying, pretty standard on that. The X Sword kind of lost some attack speed in the last beta, so I think it doesn't hurt to run some there. And then of course the crit chance lets you proc swift slaying. It'll kind of make up for that loss of speed. Now the mace and shield, which I talked about, first off, you're going to want to go as much stamina as you can, because the mace and shield has a really excellent push attack now. Push attack combo, should I say. So you go 2 stamina, 30 block cost reduction, and swift slaying. Now if you do that push attack with the mace and shield and then follow it up with a light attack, it'll be like kind of an uppercut thing with the mace, and all uppercut attacks get a 10% increased crit chance, right? So you already have, every weapon has a 5% base crit chance, so that's 15, and then you're going to have 5 on your trinket. So you'll have a 20% crit chance using that attack, which is why you want to take swift slaying. But that uppercut attack also was given an armor piercing damage profile in the last beta, which is excellent. So you get like kind of an over the top easy headshot attack followed by a nice quick pretty decent crit chance armor piercing attack. Makes the mace and shield a pretty good defensive / offensive secondary option for a Grail Knight. When you get in a pinch, you want to pull out a shield, you can just kind of push attack, uppercut those enemies that are in your way. I mean, it can handle Chaos Warrior quite nicely, especially with Grail Knight's boosted damage. It's really good. The necklace, health, block cost reduction. I like Boon of Shelley on Grail Knight because I run that talent that gives him temp health sometimes. But I mean, you can use Bark Skin, you can use Natural Bond. He can really do anything because he's Grail Knight. He's amazing. But yeah, any of those 3 would be really good. I'm probably partial to Boon of Shelley myself on him. You get more temp health, of course. It says increases effectiveness of healing, but that also applies to temp health, which is the big thing that you really want. And then your charm, I go for power versus chaos, power versus armor. It's a Chaos Warrior kind of thing. It lets you do more damage to Storm Vermin, lets you do more damage to Chaos Hordes, Chaos Elites, Chaos Monsters, while also dealing with Storm Vermin. And then, the rest of the Skaven are kind of low health, so they don't really matter as much. In the decanter, you get that purple potion. You can just ult any kind of monster to death. I mean, seriously, it's amazing what you can do with a decanter and a purple potion Grail Knight. And then on your trinket, you want curse resistance for legend and under, crit chance, and shrapnel's really good. You can bomb a monster, and then that's just even more damage that you'll be doing on top of all your stacks. I will say if you're running, if you're not going to run curse resistance, I would definitely take crit chance and stamina recovery, giving you 60% on your mace and shield there instead of the 30. So that'd be really helpful. So there you go, guys. That's the build. Pretty decent, fun little Grail Knight thing. Let me know if you guys like it. Try it out. What do you think of the mace and shield now? I think I like it a lot. The X Sword, a lot of people, I've heard them complain, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Later.